From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'm Casey Conlon. Another shooting in Billings results in another teen death. We've got the full details on the way.
And an avalanche near West Yellowstone claims the life of a snowmobiler. When and where it happened also coming up. Well, it is now 6:30 on this Tuesday. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. That's a story we'll get to about that avalanche. We haven't had a lot of snow for a while, but that doesn't mean the danger is.
And we've been in the green. It's been fairly stable out in those areas. The problem is you get into those steeper terrain. That's where you need to pay attention, no matter how stable
Absolutely.
it is. Again, we'll have details coming up. Temperatures this morning, not bad. A lot of areas holding into the 20s as we're starting the day. Generally clear skies. We do have a little bit of cloud cover starting to stream in. It's going to make for a beautiful sunrise. Daytime highs holding into the 40s. Again, this afternoon, we're probably not going to be quite as warm as it was yesterday. It's also not going to be as windy as it was yesterday. We're going to break down what we're expecting for the next few days, including snow chances and our next little shift in our weather pattern. That's coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:30 now. In Billings, police continue to investigate the suspicious death of a 16-year-old over the weekend. This is the second teenager to die due to gun violence in the city in less than a month. 15-year-old Cone Parker was shot and killed near Castle Rock Park back on January 16th. Still have been no arrests made in that case. MTN's Casey Conlon has the details concerning trends that's plaguing the Magic City.
Police responded around 6:30 a.m. Sunday to a welfare check call here at the Country Inn and Suites on Main and Airport Road. Upon entering a room, they discovered a 16-year-old male deceased from a gunshot wound. They are treating the event as suspicious. Officers were already in the area about 2 hours earlier responding to a 20-year-old male with a gunshot wound in his leg about 200 feet north of here on this small stretch of Swords Lane just off Airport. The 20-year-old man was taken to a local medical facility for treatment. Officers have determined the two incidents are related but have not made any arrests. The key question right now is whether the 16-year-old shot and killed himself or was shot by somebody else. Either way, it's the second teen death in 3 weeks in the city.
We lost another one, and unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and we're going to work to get that corrected.
Billings Police Chief Rich St. John says the incident is not connected to the Castle Rock shooting on January 16th that left 15-year-old Cone Parker dead. But there is a common denominator.
We see an awful lot of juveniles that have firearms. We also know that they are very quick to settle disputes with firearms.
According to Everytown Research's latest numbers from February 2020, firearms are the leading cause of death among children and teens in the United States, with an average of 14 child and teen gun deaths in Montana each year. Overall, Montana has the sixth highest rate of gun deaths in the U.S. at 18.9 per 100,000 people.
These are things that used to happen once in a while in maybe a year or two, but the frequency is very troubling.
There remain no arrests in Parker's case after 3 weeks. St. John knows that's a source of frustration.
I certainly would love to provide closure for the family and the community as quickly as possible. Then again, that's a complicated case. There are a lot of people involved. There's a lot of dynamics, a lot of moving parts to that, and we need to get it right. In 2021, we had a 100% clearance rate for our homicides. So I'm confident that we'll get resolution in all of these cases, but it's just going to take a little time.
The identity of the 16-year-old has not yet been released, pending notification of the victim's family. Casey Conlon, MTN News.
In other news this morning, Montana Department of Corrections mourning after corrections officer at the Montana State Prison died Friday following an undisclosed medical emergency. Montana Department of Corrections confirmed correctional officer Albert Wheat died shortly after he arrived on his shift at the prison Friday morning. Powell County coroner responded to the scene, and his death is not believed to be suspicious. No further details about the death have been disclosed. Inmates were confined to their units Friday for security reasons. Regular movement in the prison was resumed on Saturday. Now, according to a statement from the Department of Corrections, quote, "On behalf of everyone at the department, we expressed our deepest condolences to the family of Correctional Officer Albert Chubb." Other news, millions of federal dollars to expand high-speed internet into unserved areas in Montana, almost ready for distribution. Governor Greg Gianforte says the state now accepting applications for projects to use the $266 million in federal COVID relief
Millions
funds.
of federal dollars to expand high-speed internet into unserved areas in Montana is almost ready for distribution. Governor Greg Gianforte announced today that the state is now accepting applications for projects to use this $266 million in federal COVID relief funds. Private companies or co-ops with demonstrated experience, is how they put it, in providing high-speed internet service in Montana are eligible to apply. The governor says the investment will help bridge Montana's digital divide and bring more opportunities for jobs, healthcare, and education to every corner of the state. The money is from the Federal American Rescue Plan, which was approved by Democrats in Congress last March. It also will not be the only federal money to expand high-speed internet into rural and suburban areas in Montana. At least another $100 million is in the federal infrastructure bill that was passed last summer. Applications for the first round of awards are due by April 7th. And will be decided by the State Department of Administration.
Again, that was MTN's Donna Kelly. In other news, snowmobiler killed in an avalanche on Sunday afternoon outside West Yellowstone. According to social media posts from the Friends of the Gallatin National Forest Avalanche Center, snowmobiler was caught in an avalanche in the Lionhead area. Rider was carried into trees. Now, that avalanche happened in the dry fork of Denny Creek, about 10 miles west of West Yellowstone. Life-saving efforts were attempted for over an hour before the patient was pronounced dead. Victim's name has not been released. Snowfall between Friday night and Sunday morning dropped 12 to 14 inches of snow in the mountains around Cook City.
Another vaccine trial is underway, this time for an Omicron-specific vaccine dose. But with the number of Omicron cases dropping nationwide, will it be here in time?
The virus can evolve very rapidly, and I think the RNA approach is probably the only vaccine approach that can adapt quickly enough to really respond to variants of the vaccine.
Dr. John Cook is the founding director of the Center for RNA Therapeutics at Houston Methodist. He is one of many watching closely as Pfizer-BioNTech works on an Omicron-specific mRNA vaccine.
Your ability to respond to the virus does wane over time, and you'll need another booster. So if you can quickly generate a booster that is more specific for the common variant, that's going to be a better booster. You might have a longer immunity with a booster that's more variant specific.
The companies that already developed an mRNA vaccine don't necessarily have to start from scratch with development just because there's a new variant.
So the RNA is spelling out a slightly different protein sequence. And so just change the spelling of it, but put it back into the exact same packaging and the exact same formulation, and you're pretty much good to go.
Dr. Ross Kettle is a professor of immunology.
Because they've already been through it once, doing an Omicron test will be a lot shorter process.
The study is looking at over 1,400 participants who will receive the new vaccine in 3 groups. A group who received 2 doses of the current mRNA vaccine prior, a group who received 2 doses in a booster prior, and a group who has not been vaccinated at all.
My guess is somewhere by summer or by the end of summer, you'll likely see the opportunity to get that booster.
And while Omicron may not be the main variant of concern by then, public health professor Aubrey Gordon says it could still provide some benefits.
I think there certainly is a hope that an Omicron-specific vaccine, like I said, would help to generate broader immunity and might help take us a step further towards going from a pandemic to an endemic phase.
While we don't know the future of the timing or amount of vaccine doses recommended to fight against the virus, Dr. Kettle says the variants are following the pattern many viruses do.
All viruses, the longer they're around, they tend to move in 2 directions just based on mathematics. They move in the direction of being more contagious, and then also they tend to move in the direction of less virulent, so less dangerous to people. The likeliest scenario for SARS-CoV-2 is to move in that direction.
I'm Chloe Nordquist, reporting.
All right, 6:39, we're going to take a break.